In audio. In audio.
Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the, not Premier League review, we're just going to call it
FA Cup review. We'll do FA Cup review.
No, forget FA Cup, man. Listen,
No.
No,
it's not done and dusted, bro.
What, where? What's going on? What happened in the FA Cup, man?
I think we should dedicate the whole show, bro.
Listen, man, we'll definitely touch on it, man. Obviously, big up LB in the building. Man City treble pending. It's gonna happen, I think, for me. But how you feeling anyway, man?
Feeling good. It's a bit of a weird one, yeah, because I felt that the United game was probably the trickier of the two in terms of it's the occasion, and it's the first ever Manchester derby final in over 100 years. And United are desperate to stop the treble. Like, that's literally, they were calling it the "Let's Stop Manchester City Win the Treble" trophy. United were not playing in the FA Cup final on Saturday. They were playing in the "Let's Stop." So, there's a lot of pressure on that one. So now we've got through that. Now the pressure's different now, because now it's like, you've got to beat Inter Milan now. You've got to beat Inter Milan. Like, if we would have lost against United, like, yes, okay, it's a bit of a bottle job, but it's a derby day, you can lose derbies in it, but it's actually shit can happen. We have to beat Inter Milan now, otherwise we fumbled the treble, man. It'll still be a great season, of course, but it's a different type of pressure, man. It's a different type of pressure, but it's all good, bro. I just went for a walk then. Loads of City fans out there, with the shirts on and that. It was great times, and it's just great, bro. It's great to be a City fan right now. I can't lie.
Here's what it is. Big up HK, and he says here, sad thing is City didn't get out first gear. Yeah, exactly. City ain't got out gear 2, man. I don't even think gear 1, mate. But big up to Dan. Dan, how are you, mate? All things good? How's everything, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm glad the season's done for me, man. Must admit, though, the Wembley did look good fun, man. Sunshine out. It was a beautiful day. Obviously, I watched bits of it. But I'm all good, man. Do you know what? I actually disagree with Lewis, though. I actually think the Inter Milan one will be harder. Do you know why? Because Man City have never won it. They've never done it. They've never done it. So the FA Cup, they've done this before, and with Pep, League Cup likewise. As much as I understand where you're coming from in terms of the derby, I think that pressure for me will be less on the Manchester United FA Cup game than it is for this Champions League one, man. That's the one everyone's looking at. Can they do it? Are they going to bottle it? You know, am I going to get to say that Man City are bottle tank? Do you know what I mean? So that's the way to see it, man. That's the way to see it.
Arsenal fans are waiting for that one because obviously Man City fans have been giving him about the bottle job. So
if we do bottle it though, like we bottled it. It's all with the Prem and the FA Cup, man. It's still a fantastic season.
Yeah. Wouldn't be. I'd still swap our seasons, mate. So yeah, I can't speak too loud.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if anyone would swap their seasons for Man City's.
Oh, I think you're gone, bro.
Is that me?
No. Saeed's mic's gone off. Saeed, your mic's gone off, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
Saeed,
you, man. I can't hear you.
Saeed's mic. Yo, guys, make sure you hit the likes, by the way. Get the likes up in it while Saeed's sorting his technical difficulties out here, man.
Yeah, man. People, I've just got a new laptop in it, so I'm trying to work things out, man. I don't know why it keeps cutting out my mic, but big up to everyone.
I can hear you now.
Big up Lucas. Yeah, big up Lucas. Greetings, mate. Conference League, here we come. Yeah, man. Good luck on on Wednesday. I'll be cheering you guys on, man. So big up to you, mate. And we're gonna start with this guy here, Matisse. You come on here, have the audacity to talk about lying when this guy did a stream 2 nights ago, and he said the Ugarte deal was done. He listened to a report from Record Portugal. Can you believe a guy like Matisse, with all of his, you know what I mean, his knowledge on football, he goes onto Record Portugal, who everyone's never heard of, and he goes and makes a stream called sees Ugarte done deal. Well, I've got something for you, mate. The Ugarte done deal is not happening, and it's going to PSG. So where's your done deal? Because I know where the done deal is. So where is your done deal? I mean, I don't know if you guys heard of this situation going on. I know Dan Potts is smiling over there. I don't know if you followed this last night, but he's on his way to PSG, mate. He's not feeling the vibes at Chelsea. Well, what's your opinion, man, on this situation? Madness.
It's funny. I love it. I hope this is going to happen with others. The only thing I've got is that I really want Arsenal to sign Moses Caicedo. They're going to go all out for him now if this Ugarte deal is not done. I ain't going to lie, Saeed. I don't know what your thoughts were, bro, but obviously we both played against this guy. I don't really remember much of Ugarte at all, to be fair. Like, me and Tobes were speaking about it. Obviously, Spurs played him, Arsenal played him, and in our defence to both sides, nobody played well, if I'm honest with you, Arsenal players or Sporting Lisbon players. But I don't remember this guy being amazing. But from what I hear, he's really highly rated. But Chelsea are going to be crying into their Kleenex now, man, because they're 1 down. He's off.
You know, they tried to even bribe Sporting Lisbon by saying we'll have a stake in one of your, like, you know, little baby clubs and that. Like, this is what they're doing now, man. They're trying to offer him another 8-year deal. Like, these guys that, you know what I mean? Like, Man City fan, can you take this, man? Like, fellow oil brothers, they're trying to accuse you of cheating and all that, yeah. But these lot are doing some mad dodgy stuff behind the books, man. LB, what's going on here, man? And they need to be called out, man. I don't know if you followed the news last night. But...
Yeah, I've seen it, man. It's a crazy situation. Like I've not really seen the guy play that much. I mean, he's only young. He's like 22, 21 or something like that. So he's only
22, young. 22.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like it's one of these is obviously it's big cash, but PSG, you know, Champions League, you get to play with Mbappe, Neymar if he stays, of course, and you know, Chelsea. Chelsea's a difficult place to go, bro. So I'm not surprised that as soon as the Champions League club coming, that he's like maybe having a change of thoughts in it, because it's, you know, why would you go Chelsea? You know what I mean? Like, if you just wouldn't go there if PSG was knocking on the door, you know. I think PSG are going to maybe look at that's an area of the pitch for me that I think PSG could do with strengthening as well, man. You know, I think obviously, you know, their front three for the last couple of years has been unbelievable. But I do think that they could get him in. And of course, he's very young. 60 million quid, there you go. And, you know, it seems like a good deal for PSG. But for Chelsea, you know, what's going on here then? So who's their next attention? Obviously, Dan talking about Caicedo. But
Caicedo, I reckon.
Well,
Lavia head yesterday as well. Lavia.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Lavia I could see. But why would Caicedo go to Chelsea over Arsenal unless Chelsea are going to pay big cash?
That's
what
why,
they're
man.
do.
Same as Mudryk, wasn't it? They just went mental with the money. That's what Chelsea are doing. That's the only hope they got now. Is just go, right, Caicedo, what do you want? 75. All right, we'll give you 100. That's what Chelsea could do, whereas Arsenal won't do that. So that's the only reason. But you're right, Lewis. Like Caicedo's looking at that, thinking, right, Xhaka's going. I'm definitely going to get game time. At Chelsea, who knows who else is coming in? Like, I love it the way there Fabrizio has said Chelsea have pulled out 12 hours ago. Like, as if they pulled out. They basically weren't going to get him. They've just had to give up.
Yeah.
So
100%. And yeah, definitely. They're definitely angry at the PSG deal, man. Remember Ziyech left in the dark. There's a little bit of a rivalry going on between PSG and Chelsea, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, Ziyech was in Paris, relaxing. You know what I mean? Thought he was going to get the deal. Then obviously Chelsea pulled out last minute and whatnot. So listen, Chelsea have got the money, yeah. But they also have a madman in Todd Bowley, and he needs to just relax, innit? Like, he thinks he can come to this Premier League and start, you know what I mean, being a big bollocks and all that. Like, know your place, man. Know your place.
I just think
like,
it's fucking hilarious.
I just think
it's hilarious, man, because I guarantee you, yeah, after that summer, right, after that first summer, what they spent in that first summer last season, like 300 million or something like that, yeah, whatever it was, I guarantee he was going home to his wife and he was like, these Chelsea fans are gonna love me, mate. I've spent 300 million pound in my first season. He spent another 600 million in total across like the 2 transfer windows. And like so many Chelsea fans just fucking think this guy is such a fool, man. And you know, how much it just shows you, man. You know, you can't buy love, innit? You can't buy love. It's deep within, man. It takes more than just, you know, throwing a few dollars around, you know. So yeah, this guy's a fool. He's a bit of a clown, and yeah, it's a bit of a humiliation that. But I don't think it's one, you know, it's funny, you know what I mean? We can all have a laugh and joke about it. And if you want to talk real, I don't think it's something that's going to seriously impact Chelsea, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's 21 years old. It's not like they're signing like a mega player that's going to come in and hit the ground running. Chelsea will be fine because you've also got to remember.
Chelsea need to offload a couple of players to facilitate the deals because obviously they have to comply with FFP and whatnot. And they think they can come to us and give us Mount for 70 million. So that we can help them get Caicedo, get Ugarte. Like, this ain't going to happen, man. You lot are going to keep Mason Mount. I see Ben Chilwell talking about, you know, we'll have to respect this decision either way, but, you know, we want him to stay and whatnot. He's out with his boys. You know, they're all trying to convince him to stay. We don't know what Pochettino's saying as well. You know what I mean? He's going to have a massive say in Mason Mount staying. So, listen, this ain't happening. You ain't going to go and sell players to us so you can go and get better players at your football club. Like, and any Man United fan that don't see this, what they're trying to do here, they're trying to pull us over it. And I'm not having it, mate.
Yeah, but isn't it working though? Because aren't you signing, Mount? What's the latest on that?
Well, the latest is that obviously they still want their money. They still want their 70, 80 million. And we're not budgeting for that. We want about 45 million, 50 million. So there's a disagreement on the player in terms of the actual money. Obviously, he wants to come. He's open to coming to Man United. But I'm not with it, man. I'm not with it.
Do you want him?
I don't want him personally. There's a lot of United fans that want him. I just think he's a bit, for me, I don't know. I just don't think the caliber of what we need right now. When I watch Man City, it doesn't scream Mason Mount to me. People can talk about pressing and they can say, oh, well, he would have done a better pressing job than Man United, than Eriksen. But I think for me, the bar is higher. When I see the level of quality that I need to get to, Mason Mount isn't the answer. So for me, I want Caicedo. Obviously, Chelsea fans are going after him, but we'll have to see who's going to win in it. That's just what I say. Look, you know,
there's only a certain amount of players and there's only a certain amount of clubs because everybody wants Rice, everybody wants Caicedo. There are always names about Man United, Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. They're all. And, you know, they're all needing these positions, man. So it's going to be interesting.
You're right, Dan. And something that I've said now for a few years, I think there's a major talent drain in football. I think
there is.
If you go back, say, like 10 years, right? Think of all the strikers that were popping around 10 years ago, right? I'm just going to name a few of them, yeah? You had, like, Zlatan in his prime, Suarez in his prime, Aguero. You had Torres maybe a few years before that. Griezmann was obviously more in his prime then. Benzema was active. And there's probably a load of other names. You look at the strikers around Europe now. Where are they?
Yeah,
you got Haaland, you got Kane, you got Lewandowski who's probably coming to the end of his career. Osimhen, if you would have put that name into Osimhen, into the names that I've just mentioned from 10 years ago, you're laughing. You know, I'm not saying Osimhen's not a bad.
They're all retiring though, LB. Zlatan's retired.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. I think there's a serious talent drain. And I think that's one of the reasons why transfer prices are so high, because the really, really world-class players, they're now 120, 130 million. And people are spending big cash on average players. I mean, I'm not just saying this because you're on the stream, Saeed, but Anthony, 80, 90 million. I mean,
yeah. We can agree with that one. We can agree with that one.
I'm not having a dig at him. He's an average player. He's an okay player. He's probably a 30 to 40 million pound player, but because it's like if you go better than Anthony, you're then getting like the world class players. They're 140 million quid. So there's a serious talent chain, and this is one of the. And obviously, going back to the Dan, the point Dan was making. There's only a select few players, so you might not think Mount's good enough for United, and I agree in the sense that if you want to be challenging for the Champions League and the Premier League, I don't know if Mason Mount starting week in, week out is good enough. I think as a rotational player, I think he's good enough.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if
you can't be spending that much money on a rotational player. That's the problem. He's a starter.
So that's fair. But then I'll say to you, okay, if you want someone better than Mason Mount, who is it and how much they're going to cost?
I think there's better profiles out there. And I think for me, but then again, it depends on what the manager wants. He looks like, for me, he wants one sitter in Casemiro and have 2 8s. That's just the plan I look at it. In 2 8s in Mason Mount and obviously Bruno Fernandes. But I look at that ball, that midfield retention in terms of the ball. I'm like, bloody hell, mate. Like, you're playing hot potato there. I would say Casemiro is okay on the ball. He's not the greatest on the ball, but he can do a job. He's not no Rodri in terms of on the ball. And then you see Bruno Fernandes in the final, how many times he gave the ball away. Mason Mount similar as well. So in terms of the profile, I think for me, I just look at it and I think, I need ball retention. I want to see a different way of playing. That's why for me, I'm going for Caicedo.
Yeah, no, I think Mason Mount's good on the ball. I think he can retain the ball quite well. I think he will. I think he'll help you play the style of football that Ten Hag wants to play. I'm not saying it's a good price, because it's not. You are overpaying if you get him for like 60, 70 million. But I think he will help you keep the ball. I've seen him do that for Chelsea loads of times. Drop deep, keep the ball, bit of pause and more than that. But the problem is, bro, if you don't get him and you get someone better than him, it's going to cost you upwards of 100 million. You're probably going towards the sort of maybe Jude bracket. You're definitely not getting anyone with serious Premier League experience. So this is the problem with the transfer market, man.
If you've got 50 million, Saeed, I'd be going and getting Maddison ahead of Mount all day long.
But there you go then. There's another one then. James Maddison is a better player than Mason Mount. Can you agree with that, LB?
Yeah, but I think he's a completely different style. I think Mason Mount would keep the ball better in the midfield than Maddison. I push Maddison further up. Nah, 100%. I see Mount dropping deep a lot, keeping the ball, keeping it ticking over. I think Maddison's more of like a playing right behind the striker, getting goals and assists. That's my view from what I see.
Even McAllister, for me, when I look at McAllister, I see better qualities from McAllister, and we'll talk about him as well now. HK says Ten Hag out if we sign Mount for more than 40 M's, and HK goes here. United need Caicedo, Viega, who played yesterday for Celta Vigo. Manu Kone, who's maybe on the verge of going to Liverpool. Valverde type midfielder to play next to Casemiro and not Mount. Yeah, Valverde for me is an excellent player. Again, it's about profile. Will we get him? I'm probably not sure. Make sure you guys like the video. There's over 700 in here. Please do like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and subscribe to Football 12 Man podcast and City Extra, people. But Liverpool have got their job done early, people. Alexis McAllister, Liverpool, here we go. Full agreement completed on the contract. Understand it will be valid until June 2028. 5-year deal. Liverpool will pay out the buyout clause the next day. Way less than reported 60 million fee. Wow. Medical.
Well, any sort of idea on what the actual fee is here?
I reckon around 52 to 55 million. I reckon that range, 55 million, I reckon. I reckon. Let me know in the chat how much you think you'll be.
I think that's a
good signing, man. Very good signing. Very technical midfielder. Played well in the World Cup. He's a good player, man. He'll elevate Liverpool.
I remember saying, because we was obviously we're I don't know what's going on with our midfield sort of transfers at the moment, but when we was in our school struggle saying 45 mil, that's true.
45 million? Seriously?
That's an absolute.
That's a brilliant signing, man.
I was saying, we were discussing like the whole Jude Bellingham stuff, maybe coming to City a couple of months ago, and that and we was looking at like, if we didn't get Jude, who else would we look at? And we was looking at McAllister, and I was like, I'd pay 80 million, 85 million for this guy. I think he's the real deal. Still very young, still got loads of potential, and he's done it at the highest level, of course, in the World Cup. If they're getting him for 45 million, if that's true,
that's a bargain, man.
That's unbelievable.
Premier League proven, just won the World Cup. For me, can play in a few positions in that midfield quite easily. Looks to control easily midfield. I think that's an unbelievable signing. And for Liverpool, who, by the way, look absolute trash in midfield, right? That's going to be a one that just lifts them.
Just even one side. I know they're going to get 2 or 3, but just even the fact that they could have that player in there that gives a bit of dynamism in there, it gives a bit of something different. I think Liverpool are making smart businesses, and you know what? For the midfield prototypes that they do in terms of the high energy football, but he's got a bit of technique about him, so it's a bit different where they're going to now. But if they do go and get Manu Kone and Thuram, and they go down this route, they're going to be back next season, man. Whether people like it or not, their midfield was their biggest Achilles, man. Yeah. And if they're sorting that out now, and it shows you how early you got to do transfers, Man United still not got to sort of their ownership out. We're still dilly-dallying around. Arsenal, if they want to go and get Rice, they need to be quick. Caicedo needs to be quick. City, obviously, I got different targets and whatnot in terms of maybe Kovacic, but you see the transfer window now. No, you can't play around, man.
Well, this is why I say, Saeed, for me, I think Liverpool will be Manchester City's main title challenges next season, because I just think that they've had such a bad season in the sense that it was awful at the start. I know they had a decent end. They just missed out on Champions League, but they know that they have to go in there and do serious business in the transfer market. And I just think that the players that they're getting, McAllister coming in, I think Núñez will have a much better season next season. I'm backing him to get to do quite well actually next year. I think they'll be our main title challenges. And I've seen Danny, your tweet a couple of days ago about how many players do Arsenal need. And the thing is with Arsenal now is they need to go in and they need to go big with big transfers. They need to be getting the Rices, the Caicedo. They need to be spending 70, 80 million pounds, and they need to do that probably on 3 players to really, really bolster their squad. They need to get competition for Saka. They need to get a proper centre-back, another centre-back behind the 2/3 with Kivior that you've already got. And I'm talking big players here. So, and are they going to do that? I could see them doing it maybe 1. Are they going to go there and do it with a 2 or 3? Or will they sort of get maybe a Rice and then go for some 20 million pound Vieira type players that you got from Portugal? So that's why I think Liverpool will be our main title challenges next year.
I think that's fair as well. And I mean, what you're saying about Arsenal is spot on. Obviously, everyone would agree with that. I think that if we're going to go and buy 20-year-olds and try and find another Martinelli, then we're going down the wrong route. We've got enough of that. We need to look at who's ready to come in now. And I think with Liverpool, let's be real, they sort their defence out, they sort their midfield out. All of a sudden, the players that have dropped off this season are back. Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You've already mentioned the front 3 without injuries as well. You forget that Liverpool had a lot of injuries across the front 3. Liverpool could be back quite easily, man.
100%. And I just think that with Klopp, I just think the team will be ready for it next year, man, and they will go all out. And of course, they're not in the Champions League. I just think they'll go all out. Arsenal are going to have to deal with the Champions League next season as well. I think we spoke about on the last show, didn't we, Dan, the fact that I think Arsenal and Arteta will be under pressure to win a trophy, even if it's just the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, a bit of silverware next season. So I just think that maybe Arsenal, like this season, really, Arsenal this season didn't spread their squad across too many competitions, right? And Liverpool next year will probably do the same, but they might have a better squad, a bigger squad than Arsenal did this year. So they might be better equipped, man. But of course, I've always said, and I've always said, if United get Kane, then they're in the race, 100%.
Yeah, but listen, the way now Benzema's out, and we'll get to that as well, because that's another one as well where Benzema's void has to be filled. They go and get Havertz, which I think it's an absolute load of absolute bollocks that they're getting Havertz to replace Benzema. I don't know what they're doing, but they got to go show goal and go get Harry Kane. Big up to Benz with Real Madrid doing revolution. You think Kane will come to Real Madrid instead of United? Don't sleep on Perez. Many sources say Real Madrid going for targets not mentioned. They will have to replace that void. Like Havertz is not going to bring you, 30 plus goals, which Benzema used to do. Like he's not going to do that. He'd probably get you 10 at best.
If they don't properly replace Benzema, bro, I think that I don't worry. And it's funny because on the last stream, Dan was talking about having a bit of confidence for Arsenal in the Champions League, and I was like, nah, no chance. But if Real Madrid don't replace Benzema properly, I'm like, what are they doing? They cannot. I do not believe that the Real Madrid fans will allow Real Madrid's ownership and board to replace Karim Benzema with Kai Havertz. I just fail to accept that.
Even Vinicius Junior would be looking at thinking, bloody hell, man, what's this? How can
He's got a year left on his deal as well, isn't it, bro?
Oh yeah, that's mad, That's mad.
And he'll be in no rush to sign a new contract with all the racism shit that's going on in Spain with him. With the fact that Real Madrid, losing Benzema, their talisman, and of course having a bit of a rebuild in the midfield as well. He might just be thinking,
talking about a crazy price for him as well, Havertz, I was like, what has this guy done in the Premier League other than disappoint? To get Real Madrid interested, something's gone on there, man. What is
I don't even know his position.
Yeah.
Dan, I still don't even know his best position, man. Is he a winger? Is he a striker? Is he a false nine? Is he an 8?
No idea.
Bro, I don't know what he is, man.
I think Chelsea
he's a
fans
rubbish
know.
player. He's generational. That's what the
Flop,
Chelsea fans call him.
Absolute flop. People honestly talk about Pepe being a flop, and they're right to do that. What's this guy then? It's no difference.
He's on the list of
Pepe's numbers are about as good, if not better. Just what is he all about? This guy?
Yeah. Lucas, big up my guy. He says, Dan, how confident of getting Rice, Saeed? Scamacca and Paqueta would be good for United. I think Scamacca is an unheard, like he's a gem that's waiting to be unleashed. It's obviously right now he's getting a bit of banter from Antonio. He's getting a bit of banter from a lot of West Ham fans. But listen, I think for me he's a good player, man. Paqueta, not for me. I don't know. I don't think he's for me. But yeah, Dan, do you want to comment on that one? And then got to deal with this.
Declan Rice. I mean,
yeah.
Listen, Declan Rice for me. I think City, United, and Arsenal. I think will probably all bid. They're just going to be a bidding war, isn't it? Man City are the ones that worry me. I mean, why would you not go there if they do want you? Depends, I suppose. I know Lewis will know more about how much the interest is. Is Gundogan staying? Is he going? Kovacic, how much is that? If that is true. So for me, Declan Rice, people think he wants to stay in London. He wants to play Champions League football. Well, if that is the case, then it's only Arsenal. I doubt that is the case. I think if United, City, and Arsenal all come in, he'll look at all three of them.
He would. I would definitely take Rice. I would definitely take Rice at United.
I think all three of us would. He is top draw, and I think the price is crazy, but the price is going to have to be crazy because the amount of teams that want him. So, I think this will be like a Grealish fee, maybe more.
Harvey Spector says, Amra back up for Casemiro. It's a yes for me. He's the one that's going to Barcelona, my friend. He's definitely on his way to Barcelona. HK said Real Madrid want Havertz and Kane. Hell no, we'd have it speaking for all Real Madrid fans. Big Benz, listen, man, enjoy that one, man.
I don't even want him to go there, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of this guy now. When I put like a Champions League match on next year, and I wanted to watch a classic game, I don't want to see Havertz or Real Madrid.
Exactly,
I want to see a sick game of football, man.
Yeah, man.
Someone in the chat said Osimhen to Real Madrid is apparently a rumor.
Is it?
Someone put it in the chat before. I didn't.
That for me that is a game changer, and they probably would afford it. That means Harry Kane stays, and maybe United have got a chance. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. That Osimhen now, please, you know what I mean? If you're gonna go, then go. I wanted Osimhen at United, but I think
he's
the price
class,
tag United never gonna
he's
afford
a beast.
it.
He's an absolute class.
Beast, man. What a player! What a player, man.
I reckon Harry Kane will stay. I reckon Levy will just keep him for his last year. Harry Kane is chained to a radiator already. What is Levy like? What is there any need for Levy to sell him now? Like, it's just
with the new manager, though. They've announced a new manager. Do you think he'd be like, I don't know, Ange? Do you reckon he says to Kane, "Yo, do you want to stay and be part of my project?" Like, come on, no respect to Ange Postecoglu. Like, hey, you ain't got that sauce, my brother. You know what I mean? If it's a Mourinho, yes. Pochettino, yes. Conte, yes. But Ange, I'm sorry, man, your name doesn't pull like that. And I think Harry Kane is kind of saying, "Yo, I need to dip, man," because it's another manager. How many managers has Kane been under? Been under Tim Sherwood, AVB. Did AVB was under him, or was that before? No, that was before.
It was just before. Yeah.
So Tim Sherwood, Pochettino, what's it called? Nuno, Mourinho, Conte,
and Nuno.
Yeah, that's five managers he's been under.
Mason.
That's when you think of it.
And Ryan Mason.
Any more that he's been under.
Ryan Mason.
Now, going to be 6th manager now that he's going to be under. Yeah, so that's 6.
Mason.
Oh yeah,
yeah, 7 then. 7.
Yeah.
7 managers. He's had more managers than trophies. Like, you know what I mean? That is sad, man. And Harry Kane. Well, is it sad though that he's done that? Because he could have left, but he signed a 6-year contract.
I only blame him, man. I only blame Kane. Everyone says it's out of order. It's so hot. Why is he still there? How's it out of order? He's still there. He's decided to stay.
Yeah.
Like, they've chained him to a radiator for the last couple of seasons, but that's because he signed a 7-year deal.
With no release clause. With no release clause.
8.
Exactly.
Stellini, 8.
How is it?
No,
How
that's
is Harry Kane? Yeah, when you sign that contract, not putting a release clause in the contract. I mean, I'm sorry, that is, and that's because his brother is his agent, right? And this is why there's no room for family in this serious business. You've got to get the best of the best. There's a reason, yeah, why I know he's passed away now, but obviously Raiola and a lot of the other big super agents, yeah, they're called super agents. There's a reason why they get the big cash, man. Because they make shit happen for the players. And I'm sorry, Harry Kane could have been at Manchester City now on the verge of winning a treble, back-to-back Premier League.
He would not got Haaland though. You know what I mean? So
but we still would have been slamming anyway. But I'm just saying, like, he could have been at Manchester City now. And the reason he wasn't is because he didn't get a release clause in. Jack Grealish had a release clause in his contract. That's why we got him.
Just loser mentality in it from him. Like, it really is. Like, staying there for this long. Like, if I said to you boys at the start of your footballing careers, in 10, 15 years' time, when your career's coming to an end, you're going to win golden boots and you're going to win player of the seasons and you're going to win team of the seasons and getting team of the year. You might think, yeah, that's all right. What trophies am I going to win? Oh, you ain't going to win any of them. You'd be like, what? Has my career been great then? Like, has it been? Because he'll be recognised as one of the best ever Premier League strikers, and rightly so. But when you look at what the guys won, you're thinking, wow, like, really? I don't get me wrong. I understand it's not all about winning, right? For me, it is. I understand for some people it ain't. But when you look at it, you go for that career at that level and you don't win anything. That's mad to me.
Nah, bro, you've got to win something, Dan. I mean, you said it there. I mean, some people might argue he is the best striker in Premier League history, out and out striker. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to get into an argument for anyone that disagrees because I think it's a sound shout. This guy, has consistently scored 25, 30 goals throughout his career at Spurs, and he's going to win nothing.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'd love to be inside his head, man. You know what I mean? And understand, like, what is his thought process? Is it just that, like, he just wants to stay at Spurs for the rest of his life? And you know what? If he does that, I'll shake his hand and say, you know what, fair dues. There ain't much of that around in football nowadays. But in 20 years' time.
You know what it is, though? I think Phil Foden could be the next one where, you know what I mean, does he want to be the main man or does he want to kind of like, because obviously Pep Guardiola, right, he's not getting any minutes now, is he? So that's
only because he got injured, though, bro. Before he got injured, he was playing.
Yeah. Big Ben says here, but imagine Ancelotti makes Havertz cook. Big up to Junior. 1 second, I've just missed out HKN here. Big up to HKN. Goes, I think you guys are being harsh on Havertz. He's a 10, forced to play 9. His best position was when Tammy Abraham was at Chelsea. He will come good at Madrid, playing behind the striker. You know what it is? I've just not seen his actual qualities as a footballer. When he was at Bayer Leverkusen, he was a different player. Again, maybe a different league, because maybe this 2 leagues is too fast for him, or he can't.
Yeah, maybe different league.
Yeah, maybe different league, different energy. Junior, big up my guy, says we've been linked to every player under the sun, and each player is going elsewhere. FFS, what are we doing up there? A season of promise, and here we go again, shagging the manager's process. We must, yeah, man, you're right, man. I think for me, it just shows you that you've got to get things done early. And obviously, you know, right now, City want to go and get Kovacic. Arsenal want to go and get this Caicedo deal. And you know what? It's dog eat dog now, man. The lack of talent, like Lewis says there now. You know, if you want to go and get striker now, there's Harry Kane, there's Osimhen, there's Højlund, there's Kolo Muani, and that's about it. Then you have to go down to the second tier of Lautaro Martinez, which again, man, for me, that I'm not really feeling that. Who else is out there like that? Is that, you know what I mean? That you can say yourself, he's gonna, like, I look at Højlund right now, I think he's a good player, but am I gonna get guaranteed 30 plus goals from Højlund? I'm probably not. But then you've got to bank on him to kind of say, you know what, he's going to be part of the new system, believe in him. It's like Jesus. You know, Arsenal fans want a new striker. Let's be honest. You want another striker as well alongside. Oh yeah, Vlahovic as well. Yeah, Vlahovic. You know.
But these are all these players that are being mentioned here. Yeah, these are all below the. That's what I'm saying. There's only a few players at the top level.
At the top level.
And then you're taking a dip. So the clubs have to decide at the end of the day that the boards, the sporting directors, they have to decide here, yeah, and they have to go. And this is the same for Arsenal, it's the same with Liverpool, it's the same for United. They have to look at this and go, okay, do we want to go for the Declan Rices, the Caicedos? And if the answer to that is yes, don't fuck around. Just give the cash and get the player in, because I guarantee you, in 6 months' time, people will be looking back and go, yeah, it's worth it. You know, it's worth it because this guy's a good player. Or do you want to go bit penny pinching, yeah? And you go, oh, you know what? I ain't going to pay that extra 10 or 15 million for this player. Let's go and get this guy from France for 40 million. And you know what? Then it's just a gamble. It's a flip of a coin. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? But this is the moment, really, where for me, the clubs are going to show their intent. And we said this about Arsenal in January. They should have gone out there in January and showed their intent and signed big players. They didn't really do that. This is now the opportunity for these clubs to go out and go bang, bang, bang. And they got to do it, man.
Yeah.
And Liverpool are doing it with McAllister.
Yeah. Big up Shabazz. It says, Saeed, wow, Ben Jacobs saying McAllister will be under 45 million. What a signing for us. Yeah, man, listen, fair play to you, man. I think for me, it's a good deal for you lot. Just seeing it, Ange Postecoglu has already agreed terms with Tottenham. June 2025. The only step needed is to get the green light from Celtic. Ange will become the new Spurs head coach. So there you go, just confirming Ange Postecoglu will be the new manager of Tottenham. I think Paulinho with Enzo and Nkunku would cook. Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you a question, Dan. Do you reckon Arsenal's got the kind of muscle, the fire, the financial power to compete with? I know you got Champions League football, but do you think you could go and spend that 70, 80 million, 80, 90 million on these players? Because that's what they're going to go for now. Like, are you worried about the fact that now Chelsea obviously now being a bit more kind of, they're going to be more angrier now? You know what I mean? United will be in there. Obviously, other clubs will be in there. But do you think Arsenal can compete with the big boys?
We've always had pulling power, even been out of the Champions League and we're out of Europe, and we were signing the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette, Thomas Partey, and young players that were coming up like the Gabriels, etc. But what worries me, Saeed, is that Edu and Arteta have hardly been able to get Plan A over the line. So whether you think Plan A is good enough, let's just say Caicedo, we ended up with Jorginho. We went for Vlahovic, we ended up with nobody. We went for Mudryk, we ended up with Trossard. Now, some of those have worked out. Trossard was a good signing, we liked that. But it's not the point. The point is we failed at Plan A. Why is that? Whose fault is that? Is it because they were never on? Is it because Edu just hasn't got the pulling power? Is it because they don't buy into the project of, implementation of young players? We don't really know. But we will know in the summer because the money's there, man. The money is there. The Cronkies have spent a lot of money. I think there's only Man United and Chelsea that have spent.
How much do you reckon is there? Sorry to cut you off. How much do you reckon is there?
Easily 200.
Yeah, I was going to say 200 easy. With that Champions League money, bro, the easy 200 million quid. And I just think it's a case, Dan, of that maybe they weren't. Do you reckon there's maybe a little bit of hesitancy? Because obviously, what was the last big signing you did was Pepe, right? 70 million. Was it? And that spectacularly failed, right?
Yeah.
One of the flops of the Premier League. Do you reckon maybe there's a bit of hesitancy at maybe Arsenal, maybe like, we don't really know if we should do this? Because they've had some success. Look at like the Partey's that you've signed for 50 million, the Jesus, good signing. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got Martinelli, good signing. You've got some of these players at Saliba, another one. You know what I mean? Where you've not really spent that much money, but maybe someone at Arsenal, when it's like someone else on the board who's maybe a bit quiet, it says, listen, this is now maybe a time where we need to deviate in strategy here and we go back in for the big player. And let's be honest, you're not signing another Pepe. I mean, Pepe was a mad signing anyway. That was a gamble, right? That was the guy from France. Declan Rice for 120 or 110 or whatever it's going to be. A Caicedo, it's a gamble. Of course, it's big money, but I'd say there's less risk on that transfer than there was on Pepe.
100%, mate. Premier League proven. Caicedo and Rice, we've got to go and get them both, not one of them. If Xhaka's going, we need both. And I would argue we probably need both, even if he stays. When it comes to it, we shouldn't be looking at that Pepe deal and go, let's not go towards that price again, because Pepe was a completely different regime. We had a different manager. We had Husfami. We had Raul Senlehi. Obviously, Unai Emery. They've all gone now. This is a completely new board and structure. So for me, I think you need to look at, I think you said it last week, Lewis, or last time we were on, saying I'd rather go and get the Declan Rice and the Caicedos instead of going and getting 8 or 9 players that are about 5 to 10 million each.
Yeah.
I'd much rather go and get Rice and Caicedo. And then if we do want to experiment and Edu thinks he's found the new Martinelli, get that on top of, not instead of. So
exactly. That's a good point there.
I think for Arsenal, I'm looking at Arsenal now. And I'm saying, okay, if you can get Declan Rice and Caicedo, I don't think that's going to happen. I just see no evidence of Arsenal moving like that in a transfer market. But hey, this first for everything, yeah. So if they was to get Rice and Caicedo, right, for say, I don't know, combined fee, 190? Do you reckon they'd probably do that?
Yeah, between 170 and 190, something like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No. Do you reckon?
What less than that? More than that?
So I'm thinking Caicedo's around about 70 million.
Yeah, and I reckon Rice. I think Rice will be like 110, you know.
It'll be about 100, 110.
Nah, he won't be 110. He's got 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, but like Dan said, if City, United, Arsenal are all in for him, bro, it could be a little bit of a bidding war there.
But then that's their budget gone, and they need a striker. So you're spending two midfielders.
They're not going to get a striker. They're not going to get a striker.
I agree with Lewis. I think we need one, but I don't think
striker,
Arteta wants one. I think Arteta wants Jesus, and then he'll play.
Need a centre back as well.
Yeah.
Need a centre back.
You can get a centre back for 30 million. You can get a centre back for 30 million.
You've got to put player sales on that as well. You've got to put player sales. Now we're not going to get like 300 million in player sales, but we'll probably get like 100 with the amount of team we play. We're set. I'm talking like 8 million, 10 million here and there for like. Let's talk about 8 to 12 players leaving, right? So you get that 100 million, and that's your Rice money straight away. Then you've got your 200 million to spend on top of that, which will be Caicedo, Mark Guehi. They're talking about rumours of Cancelo, although I can't see that one happening. And James Maddison was being rumoured yesterday. Now that I think we wanted Mount by the sounds of it. Looks like he's going to go Man United. So they're looking at Maddison now, which I'm happy with.
Good job, Joe.
So Mark Guehi, big up Joe. So yeah, man, it's we are going to have to spend. And if we don't spend that, then goodbye title, goodbye Champions League. We ain't going to do it. We'll be top 4 again, and we'll probably go out the trophies because we won't have the squad depth. You know, this isn't like Arsenal 1 or 2 away. You know, Arsenal aren't a Declan Rice signing away from competing with City. By the way, let's have that right. You know, we've that team, in my opinion, overachieved this season to be 8 points clear. There's no way I ever expected that. I don't think anybody on here would have said in March Arsenal are going to be 8 points clear. You would have said I was high, right? So we need a squad now to compete. And the only ones I see us having to compete with right now, like everybody else is Manchester City. So we're going to need a lot, man.
Even now, for me, you know, now, like, money is going to be so. I think, give you any money, Mark Guehi's worth 50 million in this.
Yeah, I agree with that. If Ben White was 50, I think Mark Guehi 40 to 50 will get him.
Because they're losing, Crystal Palace are losing their prize asset. So they're going to say, right, this is our prize asset. It's what we want. And they'll go probably buy a centre back because it's Crystal Palace and it'll be 15 million for a centre back of their quality. And it'll probably be so good. And in 3 years' time, they'll sell it for 50, 60 million. That's what they'll do. Sometimes,
for me, he's about 35 million, isn't he? Something like that. But he'll be 50 because Palace will want that extra more. You know what I mean?
50 max.
Your mic's moving mad again.
Yeah, your mic is Daleki again, Saeed.
Is it better? Hello?
A little bit, but it's a bit crackly.
Okay, let me just.
Yeah, it's crackling.
Yeah. Do you think that, Lewis? Do you think he's centre half? Like, because Mark, it makes me look like as a Palace fan on my channel, D, big up D, and he's like, we want like 80 million. And I'm like, this is a mad market. If Mark Guehi's 80 million pounds, what the hell is going on with football? But I understand Ben White was 50. So I imagine they'll want similar to that.
It's a talent drain again, Dan. I just think that, like, okay, Matt, he's a great player, right? He really is. And I think he'd improve your squad 100%. Don't think you'd disagree with that. United as well. But, you know, if they're wanting like 50 million, and you go, okay, we'll go get someone below that. You're taking a bit of a gamble. And he's played in the Premier League. He's obviously got that more potential as well. So, look, the thing is, I just go back to the point is all the transfers, are overpriced. Yeah. Grealish is not worth 100 million. Anthony's not worth 80 million. These players are not worth that money. The difference is some teams go, oh, no, we don't want to pay that money. We'll go and get this guy for 15 million quid. Or some players go, hey, this is the business. This is the business we're in. We either pay the cash or we don't. You either play the game or you don't. And the facts are the teams that will do the best next year are the teams that just go, yeah, we know we're overpaying, but we have to get him. Otherwise, we'll get someone with inferior quality. You know? Yeah. So it's just one of them, man. You know, like I say, huge talent drain in football.
Am I better now? They sound better now. Even Kovacic. Yeah. Kovacic, though. How is he worth 35 million? 1 year left on his contract.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Kovacic is if you didn't have a 1 year contract, I'd say you had 2 or 3. I think he's worth 35 to 40, 50 million quid.
Again, 1 year left now on your deal.
I think it's a fantastic signing for City. I really do. I think 35 million quid for a guy of his experience, nearly 100 caps for Croatia, 100 and some games for Real Madrid, 100 games for Inter Milan, 200 games for Chelsea. This is a guy with unbelievable experience at the top level. And remember, this guy's
injury record with the fact that he's 29 now, the fact that, you know what I mean. Again, he's going to be a rotational player. 35 million. Okay. Hey?
He's a rotational player. He's not going to be starting every week, isn't it? And I had a look at his injury record, man. I don't think it's as bad as people were making out. I didn't know. People was like, LB, check his injury record. I checked it on transfer.
And it's worse than Kante's, apparently.
Well, it might be worse than Kante's, but I looked at it and I don't think it was particularly that bad.
Yeah.
He had like one horrendous injury like 4 years ago, like an ACL or something. He was out for like 4 or 5 months or some shit like that. But then other than that, he's got a few injuries here and there. It's nothing that would put me off, especially as a rotational player.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's a great sign.
Before I come to the super chat, big up Lucas. Obviously, Gundogan. I don't know what's in this Gundogan situation. It looked like he was signing a new deal. Then now apparently the agents come out and said, "Oh, well, nothing's happened yet."
He's got to stay, man. He's got to stay. He's class. He's got to
stay, man.
Well, you probably all know the sort of situation. He wants a 2-year contract. City only want to give him a 1 year, and that was it. It looked like he was going. But then about 2 weeks ago, some news came out in the sense that City were prepared to give him the 2-year contract. And then we got some more news, I think, last night to say, yeah, it's looking good. And then obviously his agents now come out apparently and been like, this news is false. So, look, I don't know what's going on with it. I think City would be very silly to let him go. Put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think Gundogan's a top player. I think maybe Arsenal might have maybe sneaked in there and got something for him, but it's not worked out. Lucas says, Dan, which players do you think you'll sell to get cash in? Smith Rowe, Balogun, Tierney. Smith Rowe, man. I think you could get a lot of money out of Smith Rowe, you know. I really do.
I love him,
but it's Hayland, it's the sentiment, it's, you know, it's one of them, innit? What do you do? Stick or twist? Is he going to play?
I think Smith Rowe will stay. There's rumours coming out now that he isn't going anywhere. He's had a bad year, man, in terms of injuries. But if you think the season before, he got 12 goals and 7 assists. Like, this is a guy that, you know, in a bad season as well, will come 5th that year. So I think he's definitely part of it. Tierney, I could see him going. There's rumours of Newcastle move up towards time. And Pepe and Maitland-Niles and Pablo Mari, who's gone now. We'll get rid of like Runarsson, Tavares, Lokonga. Balogun's the one. I think Balogun we could get some money for. I saw him on loan at Middlesbrough. I thought he looked awful. But over in France, he scored a lot. Now, is that because it's a farmers league or what? I'd like to see him on loan in England. But if we're going to have to sell players, he'd be one that goes. And the other obvious one is Granit Xhaka. It looks like he's going to go for around 30 million to Bayern Leverkusen or Munich, I think, who might be interested now. So there we go. We're going to make 100 to 130 million there on those players. So that's how you get the Declan Rice and Caicedo money. And then you get the 200 million war chest on top of that to get your attacking midfielder, your centre-half and the striker that you need. But whether that will happen or not, we'll have to see, man.
Yeah. You know what? I think Smith Rowe, it's one of them, man. I think he's a good player, man. But again, 22 now. It's not as if he's 18, 19. He needs to think about his career, man. Like, you know, I know you love Arsenal, but are you going to get some game time, man? Am I ever going to see Smith Rowe as a starter for Arsenal? I don't see it happening. I think for me, Saka is undeniable quality, but I just don't think in that midfield area, you've got to be extra special. On the wings, you need output, but in the midfield, you need to have that reliability.
I really like it.
We need. Sorry, Lewis, just quickly. We need to learn off of Pep in that situation quickly because he keeps that squad happy. He rotates them properly. So I think back to when we were successful. I never looked at Arsenal's squad back then and gone, oh, Reyes is going to need to go. Oh, Van Persie, he's got to get out of here. He ain't getting in that side. Fabregas, oh, he needs to be sold and think about his career. Kanu and Wiltord were on the bench. Ray Parlour was on the bench. Gilberto, Edu, all these guys were part of that squad, and that's where you're successful. And that's what we got to remember. We're so used to playing one game a week and having a squad that's only needs to be 15 man, you know, strength-wise. We need to forget those days, man. We're trying to get to where City are. So even if you have a squad that's 20 deep, they're all 20 absolute quality players, and the drop-off is hardly at all. Our drop-off at the moment is Ødegaard's injured now, let's bring in Vieira. Saka's injured now, let's bring on Nelson. Jesus ain't about, we got Eddie. Like, that's too much of a drop-off. You know, City, they've got Alvarez to come in when Haaland's not there. They've got Foden, they've got Mahrez, they've got Gundogan, they've got Calvin Phillips, they've got Laporte, they've got all these players. We don't have any of that, man. We just don't have that squad depth, and we've got to get it.
Yeah, I was just going to say on Smith Rowe that obviously you said he's had a bad season, some injuries there as well. There's no doubt. I think we all agree. Everyone in the chat agrees that he's a top talent. The problem that I potentially see here now is sort of on Arsenal's sort of progression, of going up, and his progression. Arsenal have gone up and he's sort of maybe stalled a little bit this year, obviously, with not getting too much game time. The problem is for Arsenal, they can't afford to be sort of... I'm not saying they can't afford to develop players, because clearly they can, but if he's going to be a rotational player next season, because again, I'm in that sort of camp that is he going to be starting every single game for Arsenal next season? No. He's going to be a rotational player. But the problem is, when Arsenal look to the bench and Arteta goes, okay, who's going to come on and change the game? Is he going to be able to do that? Or does he actually need to be playing week in, week out? He said he's 22. He probably needs to be playing week in, week out. The problem for Arsenal is then, okay, what did they do? Did they cash in for him now? Because they'll get a good fee. Or did they loan him out with the potential of selling him in a year's time for even more, or maybe then bring him back in a year's time to play that sort of rotational role, or maybe even break in. It's a weird one with Smith Rowe, because I actually love it.
Going on all four fronts now, he'll play more games. I mean, first of all, he's got to get fit, because the guy's still not fit and he looks overweight as far as I'm concerned. So for me now, he needs to get back into this side. The best way to do that, if you have to take League Cup games and FA Cup games to start with to try and push and force your way in, I think he'll do it. He won't do it forever, but I think he'll do it for this one season, because I think he does love the club. And he's.
Did you think that'd be enough though, Dan? I just feel like a player at his age maybe needs to be playing more.
He's been regular football, man. He had a chance to play.
He needs to be, but he needs to be. But you can say that about all the Man City players. Does Phil Foden have to play regularly? Does Jack Grealish have to be regularly? Does at these ages? Yeah, they all do. But Pep keeps them all happy because he rotates them. That's what we've got to get to. We haven't got the squad to do that yet. That's why we've had to play 11 players for the last God knows how many.
The only other thing I would add to the point, going against what I'm saying, just as a sort of general conversational point, is this is a period in Arsenal's history that they need to be building the squad up, not letting players leave. So, you let Smith Rowe go, I guarantee Odegaard gets injured in the first game and you're all sat there going, what the fuck have we just done? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a difficult one. And maybe actually for Smith Rowe, for him personally, maybe his best decision for him might be to go out on loan or go be sold so he can play 38 games in a season.
But what's best for Arsenal? Probably not that.
Probably not that.
No, I get you. I hear that.
Oh, that's crazy. Apparently, Potts, I've read Arsenal, Arteta's training him as an 8. You either have it or you don't, man. I don't understand this training to be an 8. Like, you either are a good 8 or you're on the left and whatnot. And
I think, to be fair to him, I think he's got the attributes to play wide or through the centre, to be honest. Whether it's a 10, which no one plays anymore, or an attacking 8 or a wide. I like Smith Rowe. I've seen him play across the front 3. It looks good. Oh, my God. What are we seeing here?
Yeah, man. Listen, breaking. Kai Havertz set to join Real Madrid for €60 million. Deal to be completed very quickly. Wow.
60 million. How is everyone... Bro, how is everyone coming at my club, for doing dodgy financial shit? Yet Chelsea are managing to get €60 million for Kai Havertz.
Wow.
How is this acceptable?
That's
Investigate, man. There's a joke. 60 million quid for this guy.
He'll be a backup to the striker, man. That's mad when you think about it. He'll be a backup, man. He won't play every game. But yeah, that is reliable. Build are kind of reliable, if I'm being honest with you. But Chelsea fans, man, you've absolutely... This is what I mean. And then they'll get 70 for Mount. That's what? 110 million out of nowhere.
That's crazy.
Why did he was paying this money, man? Honestly, it's mad.
Bro. Like, they're not... They've got a few things wrong. But I think for me, this one here, they'll be closely monitoring this one. Very, very closely. But let me
get this right. Madrid have sold Odegaard to us for 30 million. Bought Havertz for 60.
Yeah, when you put it like that, Dan, that's horrendous.
If they want to play 60, let them. Why are you getting triggered? No, it's because you know where it is. Yeah, I just don't like Chelsea doing good business in it. Like, and that is good business. But they did get him for what? How much did they buy him for originally? We checked.
It was like 70 million, wasn't it?
Was that 78 million or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was like a big cash. Especially at the time, because he's been there for a few years now, hasn't he, Dan? It's about 4 years.
Yeah. €85 million, 75 million they bought him for. So they've got a loss there.
There you go.
75 million.
Yeah, but still a loss. But he's not 60, is he? Let's be real. These
75,
guys got nothing.
75, guys. Let's get that right. Now you want to do the maths your way, innit? I'll just read it right now, 75 million. So... You know, last 5 minutes before we kind of wrap up, what kind of transfers do you think will happen next? Like, give me your prediction, LB. Like, give me your prediction this summer in terms of transfers and where do you think people will go? You know what I mean?
Okay, so what should happen? United need to sign Kane. They need to go all out for Kane. Oh, Simon, but I'd go for Kane 100% because that propels Manchester United 100% into a title race next season because he's going to get you 25 goals. And with 25 goals, you will be propelled into a title race. City, I think we're going to have to replace Laporte. He's going to be leaving. And we're looking at Gvardiol, so that's going to be decent. Get Kovacic in. I'd like a new winger, a fast winger, just for a little bit of optionality. We don't really have any pace on the wings. And for Arsenal, I said it earlier in the stream, but yeah, they need big hitters. It's time for Arsenal now to enter the big boy transfer conversations. They've done very well. This ain't a dig. They've done very well getting these sort of 30 to 40 million pound players, whatever. It's time now that they say, this summer for Arsenal tells us whether or not the board at Arsenal really want to compete or whether this season was just a fluke. That's a fact. Spurs are finished. Chelsea, it's about sales and just sort of condensing that squad. Yeah. And Liverpool, I think they look like they're on the right way. They seem to be doing it, pretty quietly as well, man. So, but that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. I think, both United and Arsenal need to go big this summer. Buying proven players. United kind of did a similar thing last year. McAllister, Martinez, obviously good signing, bit of a gamble. Anthony, you know what I mean? It's time to leave them players now and go for the big. These players are going to propel
the Dutch market. You know what I mean? You don't know, man. He might dip into that Dutch market and go and get Edson Alvarez or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to go get big hitters, man. Big hitters.
Yeah. Dan, what's your predictions for the transfer window?
Yeah, similarly to Lewis, to be fair, those names, I think what teams want and what they'll get could look very different. But the only team I think that Lewis had missed out on is Newcastle. I expect them to be serious now. Now they've got Champions League.
We forgot about Newcastle. We forgot about Newcastle. Shame on us.
I think Newcastle, like Dominic Szoboszlai, looks like his favourite to go there. James Maddison, they've been interested in for a while. Good players, Szoboszlai. Moussa Diaby, a player I would like. They've been interested in him for a while now as a right winger. I'd love him to compete with Saka. But the good thing about Newcastle is because they're starting, they can tempt these guys with a lot. They can tempt them with money and they can tempt with first team football.
Imagine they get Kim Min-jae and Sven Botman. Bro, that is a big pair.
Yeah, like their spine is fantastic. Isak, love him. Bruno Guimaraes, obviously Joe Linton's coming to the mix now. If they can add to that, the James Maddisons or Szoboszlais or Diabys, Newcastle will be serious. I don't think they'll win the title, but I think they could surprise again next season if they get the recruitment right.
If there's anyone to kind of win a title, that would be out of the blue. And you wanted to put money on. Yeah, I'd put Newcastle to win the title in the next.
I disagree. I think with the Champions League, I think they'll go big again for another trophy, FA Cup or Carabao, because they're desperate for silverware. I think their goal next season is to get back in that Champions League. I think people are underestimating next season that Champions League top four is going to be very. It's going to be a lot harder than this season.
Lewis, they can build, though. They can build. It's not as if you're going like Leicester. They went into the Champions League and they never built on that. Like they can build on it because they've still got the money. The Saudi money is there.
I just think they've got a lot to do. Obviously, they're getting back into that Champions League situation. And I just think it's going to be a big season for them. I think if they finish in the top four, get out of the group stage of the Champions League and maybe get to a cup final, that'll be a great season. And maybe the season after that with another summer transfer window is the one that maybe they'll go for a title. But I just think top four next year. I mean, how many teams is there going to be in a top four race? So City, United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea should be there. I said United. Have I said United?
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Depends if you put Tottenham in there. Come on.
No.
If Kane stays.
If Kane stays, they're in there.
They've got a chance.
I think you've got to add in Brighton there, man. I think you've got to add in Brighton. They'll be in around there, man.
I'd take Brighton at this moment.
The thing is with Brighton is about how they replace again, because they have replaced everyone so far. If they're going to lose Caicedo and McAllister, which looks like they're going to, like, how are they going to replace those two in 1 year? They've done it before. They did it with Bissouma. They did it with Cucurella. They've done it with other players, but they're the ones for me. It's huge. But I don't put Tottenham in there even with Kane, not for top four. Maybe they sneak into the top six chat. But for me, I think they're better teams than Tottenham, man.
No European football, though, Dan. If Kane stays, no European football. They'll be playing a game a week.
Yeah, but do you think that gives them enough to get them in top four race?
I think I just rate Kane that highly that I think he can just drag teams.
Fresh 1 week. Yeah, you're right.
But,
you're
probably right.
Score goals,
you probably are right, Dan, to be honest. They're probably not going to be in the top four race. But with Kane, I'll give him a glimmer of hope.
Yeah. Last super chat for wrap up. Apparently, Brighton put a release clause. Big up Mo. He said apparently Brighton put a release clause in Alexis' contract, new contract, but it was before the World Cup. Reports say it could be even less than 45 million, 35-ish. Yeah, we were just discussing that, man.
That seems really weird, though, Saeed, right? Because what Mo's saying, obviously Mo's just reporting what's been said here, is that Brighton have put in his contract a 35 to 45 million release clause, right, before the World Cup. But I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it was the World, like he did well in the World Cup, but he was still a great player before the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what you got to remember is in the summer, they've just sold Cucurella to Chelsea for £60 million. So you telling me that after they've just sold a left back that had one season in the Premier League for 60 million, they then went and put in a 45 million release clause in McAllister?
It's mad. It's bonkers. But do you know what? To be fair, in their player sales, like they've only recuperated around 84 million. Like they don't do well in selling players. They do well in signing players. Yeah. So
that's got to be one of the signings of the summer already. I mean,
he's already so far.
I mean,
I don't know who can want that unless they go and get another player for that price, and they'll just keep doing that. So we'll see. But listen, people, man, we've had over 1,000 people in here throughout the whole video. Big up to everybody who's been locked in. Make sure you hit the like button. We need at least 500 minimum likes on the channel. I always say that. That's always a target on the channel. 500 minimum likes. Let's get it up, people. And yeah, man, big up to the people in the chat as well. All the people who contributed. Big up to all you lot. And it's been a good one. LB, man, what are you saying, man? What you got coming, man? Anything coming on your channel?
Just a small matter of the Champions League final this weekend, innit, bro? So we got obviously we got the transfer stuff, the contract talk, but yeah, the Champions League final, building up to that one. And just it's all about nerve management, bro. You know what I mean? It's about not going into full meltdown. I mean? We've all been in Champions League finals on this stream, right? We all know what it's like. Only one of us has won a Champions League though. So it's about managing them nerves. And I think to be honest, I think we'll be a little bit more confident, a bit more calm going into this one. The Chelsea game, it's our first ever Champions League final. It was COVID settings. It was a mad season. This time, going to a little bit more calm, but we got to deliver. Yeah, so our Champions League build-up, basically.
Absolutely, man. Big up to you. Dan, it's been a pleasure, man. Big up to you, bro.
Big up, man. Big up. Thanks. Always a pleasure, my friend. People, if you could come head over, I'm literally creeping up to 10K. So Football's 12th Man podcast. Make sure you do me a favor, head over there. You'll know loads of people on there. Most of the Premier League influencers always got an invite. Loads of transfer news, man. So, head over, people. Cheers, Saeed.
Yeah, make sure you head over, man. Absolutely, man. Link in the description, guys, for both channels. I'll be back later on, 5 p.m., people. Straight Jacket Podcast. And yeah, man, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the weather. And I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye. Peace.